Pop quiz. I want you to look at the favorites list on your telephone. Look at the very first name, and without looking at the telephone number, tell me what their phone number is. Think about it. Do you know the answer? If you're like most people, chances are you don't. Now imagine this. That's number one on your list, which means you actually love that person. You have a personal contact with them, and you have no clue what their phone number is. Unless they're like my mother and they've been in the house for 30 or 40 years and the phone number is just etched in your mind because the phone number was there a long time ago. Hi, I'm Kevin Powell with Powell to the People Media, and we're perception people. And we're talking about perception versus awareness. And the reason your phone number comes so much into play is because when we talk about brand awareness, which is knowledge of the brand, you're looking at something that's very different from brand perception. And it doesn't mean that one is negated over the other, but they have varying different purposes. I talk about the telephone because the human mind was determined in 2011 takes in 174 total newspapers a day. And since most of us have no clue what a newspaper is anymore these days, that is the equivalent of 34 gigabytes of information. That means that 128 gigabyte iPhone that has so much storage would be maxed out in less than 4 days. Your brain is taking in that much information from television, from radio, from where you're driving, from work, from emails, from text messages. You're taking in that much data per day, which means simply knowing about a brand, simply knowing about a product doesn't necessarily allow it to separate in your potential buyer's mind. So I like to lean towards perception, because perception is about emotion. Now I look on my list, and I have my child's on my list, and I know that phone number. But I don't know that phone number because I know it offhand or because I've called it. Because, hey, when I need to call it, I click the button. I know that phone number because I get the wonderful updates from my provider about how she's running through the data plan. Yep, you've experienced it. You have an idea of what I mean. So that creates an emotional connection to the phone number. That when I see that number, I'm thinking, wow, I'm almost out of data. I'm about to pay extra. That perception allows that number to dig in deeply, allows it to dig in more intently, allows it to be there more strongly than just simply knowing that the number is there. And that same emotion connects to your brand. It connects to your product. Knowing that your product is there is great for someone who is looking for it, for someone who is already that deep in the buying behavior process. But having the connection that is emotional gives it that much more of a deeply built-in feeling to either understand, connect, and want to buy your brand, or in some cases, go in the opposite direction. But it is just as good to have the emotional connection that drives the people you want to you, as it is to have an emotional connection that drives the people you don't want away from you. And so you want to build that perception, you want to build that connection, and you want to do that by focusing your marketing on driving emotional responses that deal in perception. Now, you wonder when I talk about brand perception, about the real effect of it and how effective is it, and you want to see it in the real world outside of talking about telephones and what you're looking at. So take a look at Cadillac, take a look at Buick, take a look at Hyundai. Those three car brands have dealt with their varying forms of perception issues. Buick was well known as the car that was great for your older churchgoer. Come on now. But now you've seen in the past 10 or so years, they've been making an effort to make that brand seem younger, seem cooler, seem hip. Then you have Cadillac, same process, trying to take it from the luxury vehicle of the elderly to something that is cool, new edges, new lines, a racing line, something that makes you feel as though, hey, this car is young, this car is lively. And then let's take Hyundai, who for years had service issues and did the wonderful, wonderful campaign that was the bumper-to-bumper 10-year warranty, much longer than anybody had ever done in the industry, all to create your difference in your perception about how you perceive that car's ability to be safe and built with quality. Perception is an amazing thing that takes years to earn and years to get rid of. It is something you should focus on when you're thinking about how to shape your brand. And if you ever need help with that, feel free to give us a call. I'm Kevin Powell with Powell to the People Media. We're perception people, and our industry is innovation.